Hi guys, welcome back to another discussion video with me and Sam, and I'm Morgan, and somewhere over there is Sam. She's just way under over there is Sam, and we are going to be discussing episode 14 of Missing 9. Also, you guys, we want to apologize for not posting this up on Sunday. We had some issues, so we're sorry about that, and we hope you enjoyed this discussion video. And also, I haven't posted up my Snapchat reaction yet. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible YouTuber.
We both been slacking.
I'm sorry.
Can we just talk before? We've had to get through 2, 4, 6, 8 episodes in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We're not doing too bad, if I do say so myself. And that person who disliked that one video, shame on you. We're doing the best we can.
That makes you laugh. Sam, you see a dislike button, you're like, what? And I'm just like, ugh.
Arian called Fester Adams. Stop it.
I'm like, I don't get it. It's just us talking. How can you dislike people talking? If you don't want to listen to us, you don't have to.
You do. I'm gonna tie you down. But anyways, today we're going to be discussing episode 14 of Missing 9. So, of course, to backtrack it, let me just tell you guys quickly what happened in episode 15, or from what I'm going to remember. So,
13.
For 13 is one thing I really remember the fact is that they had that whole phone thing where they're running after the phone, and then Chow Tae-ho got stabbed, and then Juno brought him to the hospital and threw him on the gurney. It was like, peace, dude, and just left him there. But the show starts with Chow Tae-ho basically waking up in the hospital, and Seo Jang is there, and Seo Jang is basically like, this wouldn't have happened if you just listened to me. And I love the fact that Tae-ho was like, it wasn't that he didn't care, it was just that he was over the excuse. It was more like he wanted to know why the Seo Jang killed Jaehyun. He's like, we could have saved him. I could have saved him. He's like,
right.
You didn't have to kill him. And how the CEO was like, I did it for you. I did it. I killed him for your image, for you. And I'm like, that doesn't make... Okay, yes, I understand. Assault. It's really sucky to assault someone. But if they got help after assaulting someone, they could figure that out. But no. He was like, the first thing they reached for was murder?
Right.
Murder?
Right.
Why?
Well, I think Choi Tae-ho finally had a come to Jesus moment of none of this should have happened. The island crashing was gonna happen regardless. Or actually, not even that, because they were having kind of a comeback tour or whatever.
Yeah, it was a concert, a huge concert.
But I don't think that concert would have ever happened because, they were each, individual artists at that point. They weren't really the Dreamers anymore. They were just kind of traveling.
Yeah.
So, the group wouldn't have broken up. Jaehyun would still have been alive. Granted, Bong Hee would have never met Juno. But, the whole revelation of, none of this ever needed to happen kind of, I think, hit him pretty dang hard. So, it sucks. History is history. You can't change it. But... for him to finally realize that Jaehyun never needed to die, that he could have saved him and gotten assault charges at the most.
Well, I honestly think that the reason why the Seo Jang killed him was because he knew that if he stayed alive, that his voice, he could have caused mayhem to Tae-ho or Chow Tae-ho. But honestly, what's worse, murder or assault?
Well, at the same time too, if Jaehyun, let's go back to the Jaehyun piece. If Jaehyun went and said, hey, I'm the vocals...
Yeah, it would mess...
He would have never come out of training anyway.
Yeah.
Because it would have ruined his image as well. So, I think he was pretty well... I think Tae-ho would have been pretty well protected. Because he would come out of training so bad.
Yeah. I honestly think, though, that if they could have found a new voice for him, even though it sucks that he had to use someone's voice to become a singer, they could have worked it out besides killing the guy who was his voice before. But what really got me was the fact that there was a scene where he was lining up, or he was at an event and they're taking photos of him, and he saw Jaehyun covered in blood, and it freaked him out. And he was he went to the van to freak out, and he told the CEO I can't do this. I don't want to live my life guilty like this. And basically like, the CEO slaps him. The CEO Jang slaps him, and he's like, listen, it's already done, over with. You can't turn around. This is how it is. You don't want to live your life like someone, basically live your life like Junho, who was getting, like, the short side of the stick. And I literally was like, I want to punch you so bad, CEO Jang. That's all I want to do. I was getting so annoyed at that character. And then, but I mean, I honestly do agree with you. I honestly think that everything would have changed if he found out, or if Jae-hyun didn't die. Everything would have been different. And it sucks because, like, it just destroys me with the fact that, like, that CEO Jang created a monster. That's what he did. I don't think Chow Tae-ho was a monster to begin with. I think that he was created that way, and that it sucks. It just completely sucks. But to go on to some brighter news, so my girl Gia, so we find out Gia manager, what's going on with them. We find out that Gia basically calls up the manager, is basically like, hey, I know the fact that CEO Jang is blackmailing you using my mom, because her mom is, I think, using funds from the company and taking money from the company, stuff like that. And so Gia knew that that's what her mom was, or that's what CEO Jang used to threaten him. But I like the fact that she's like, listen, you don't need to protect me, I'm fine. And then we find out that, which is something I really want to talk about, was the fact that the manager was in the army with her brother, and he did surgery on her brother, and her brother died. And then from there he not pretended, but he like looks after her like a daddy long leg, where he like looks after her as like a brotherly figure, because he feels guilty that her brother died. And honestly, you guys, this makes no flippin' sense, because if you remember in episode 3 or 4, when Juno stepped on the mine, and then the manager came, and the manager was like, don't worry, I'm a Marine. And then even later on, when they were talking about radios, they said that he was really good with, or maybe it was the secretary, but I just remember
the radio was the reporter.
Okay.
But the manager said that he was really good with like mines, and he's like undone the mines or something like that. Like he was good with that kind of stuff, like artillery.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's a surgeon.
Yeah. Yeah, it just didn't make sense to me whatsoever. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. What do you think about that, Sam? Do you think I
think it's just one more continuity error on top of another. And I mean, at this point, like, we really should have kept a tally of how many continuity errors there was. I should just go back and then make a whole video on it of like what they said in the beginning versus what's happening now. But we can't look at that, because if we do, we're just going to kill the story.
Yeah.
The big chunks, I think the big chunks are very, like, consistent. We know where everybody fits. It's just details that are just messed up. I think this is one piece, though, that I wish they'd kept straight.
Me too. It just didn't make any sense whatsoever. But then, I think what else happened? Like, oh my goodness. So, I just want to keep on with Gia and the manager. I love the fact that Gia was like, fighting, and then she gave him when that didn't work, she like gave him her jacket, and she's like, bye, like so awkwardly walk away. I'm like, I love you, Gia, my inner fan girl's coming out, I'm sorry. But then we get this really I don't know about this scene. I mean, it's nice to have this scene, but it was a scene where it was a backflash where Soo-hee went to Juno's hospital, or not room, when he was passed out, back, and basically cried and was like, I'm sorry, I don't know if I can keep on doing this, I'm sorry. And then the manager found her crying. My question, I don't know, to you maybe, is the fact, why do you think the manager didn't say anything? Like, the manager could honestly been like, why is Soo-hee going to Juno apologizing when Soo-hee obviously blames Jaehyun's death on him?
I honestly don't know. I don't know what the motivation behind it is, because, I mean, I don't know, because the manager was clearly, it seemed like he was very close to Juno. So why wouldn't he say anything? Why wouldn't he be like, hey, Soo-hee came by and she was crying, and even if he didn't know why, he'd probably say, I don't know why. And again, more ways the story could have been figured out so much faster.
Exactly. By the way, quick note. I just want to say I love the fact that Juno. There are these moments where Juno looks completely badass, and like you think that he's like really strong and really arrogant, and then there's the parts where he's like he goes to a stuffed animal vending machine and he starts playing with it with Bongi. I'm like, you are such a kid. You're supposed to be hiding, and yet you go out and you go to like play with these stuffed animal toy vending machines. I'm like, you are such a child. But anyways, we finally, well, not really finally, I thought this was going to happen in episode 15. The CEO wakes up. Dun, dun, dun. And of course the secretary freaks out. He's like, oh my god. And I was like, calm down. People are probably going to hear you and send someone to kill him. Calm down. And he's like freaking out. And then here's the thing. I don't know if it's been so long, but I don't remember if Juno and the secretary have really like met up.
Not yet. Juno hasn't been to the hospital. I don't think Juno's been to the hospital.
Well,
he has.
Yeah.
Bong, he went to the hospital, and he was like still in the coma, and then like Choi Tae-ho was already at the hospital, and just what's his face, the secretary now like suit kind of CEO person, he saw Juno, but he thought he was a ghost. It was like kind of panicking and freaking out. So
I think it's kind of weird how everyone went to the CEO's room, CEO, not CEO Jang, CEO's room, and Juno was there, and the secretary didn't freak out. I was like, oh my god, Juno, you're alive, not a ghost.
Right? Like, because this is the first time they've actually met.
I was like, that.
And like, there was no reaction.
No, none. It was like he knew that he was alive. He knew everything was good. Also, we find out that CEO Jang, the secretary went to go tell CEO Jang, because I feel like maybe the secretary thinks that CEO Jang and him are on the same side. I don't understand. But he overhears the CEO Jang saying like, oh, can the CEO talk? And the guy's like, no. And CEO Jang is like, good. If he does talk, we need to kill him. And the secretary's like, oh my god, like, that's a fucking surprise. So so I'm glad that the secretary's basically now like find out that the CEO guy is not really on good terms, not like someone good to be on side. But can we just please talk about the fact when the CEO sees Juno, and he's like, Juno, and he's like, my baby, my child, like, that part killed me, emotionally destroyed me. Like, the fact that he like looked at all of them and he saw Juno, and you could tell that he was so like relieved for the fact that Juno was alive. But
it kind of cracks me up a little bit, because it's a 180 from how he was at the beginning. He was very cold, and like Juno had written a song and he didn't care, and he was more focused on Yeol and Choi Tae-ho. And now, well, Yeol, we don't know anything. Yeol is still alive. I'm still #nobody not dead. Like, but he now shows affection toward him, where like at the beginning he was cold. So it's kind of interesting to see the 180 from like beginning to now.
Yeah, exactly. Also, so they're going to be holding a press conference. Dun, dun, dun! And also, the chairwoman, she's trying to run for congresswoman, or maybe she is already a congresswoman. She's trying to get elected, and everything's falling to shit because people are changing their like story, and people are blaming her committee for not doing it right, for just rushing into it, which honestly she did. She didn't really do it right. She didn't think about like all the facts. She just chose the easiest person to blame. Right. Then Choi Tae-ho went to go meet up with her, and this is where it confuses me. She basically tells Choi Tae-ho, if I remember right, that basically she's like on his side. She's like, let's make sure let's make sure that Juno doesn't change the story. And I'm like, it confused me, because I'm like, whose side are you on?
Right, and I was kind of hoping for a flashback too, back to the elevator when her and the manager were on the elevator, and like them making a deal. But it seemed there's no motivation behind her wanting to protect Choi Tae-ho. At this point, she needs to protect herself, number one. And that's the only motivation I can see behind it. Because at this point, if everybody's story changes and they find out that whatever, Juno is innocent, they're going to see the botched investigation and probably the evidence that they weren't willing to show, because I know they never showed Bong Hee's side of the story. So it's like she needs the story to say the same to save her face, basically.
Exactly. And then we have someone sneaking into the secretary or the CEO's room and trying to kill him. And I love the fact that I was like, no! And then the secretary was like, when the secretary came down, I'm like, I swear to God, I feel like the secretary isn't going to do anything. But then he like freaked out and I was like, thank you. And I like the fact that he locked the door. And then of course Chow Tae-ho shows up and what does he say? He's like, if you want to save the CEO, open the door. And I'm like, why are you gonna open the door?
Don't open the door.
Why are you opening
It's like a really bad horror movie where you're like, no, don't go downstairs. Bad things are gonna happen.
Exactly, like, I don't know. I mean, you've seen him already kill one person, so why the hell are you opening the door? But I don't. Oh, that part really annoyed me so much. So I was like, it doesn't make sense. Like, like it just didn't make sense. Because if I think about that, if I was in his spot where I would say I was protecting my friend, like I was protecting you, Sam. Say you were about to get murdered. I kicked their butts. They're outside holding the door, and then a guy who I saw murder someone else is like, you can trust me. Open the door. I'd be like, who do you think I am? No, no way.
So we're getting ready for the press conference, and they know that they're going to try and intercept this phone because of the voice recording that's on it.
Yeah.
And you know what? They finally got their crap together. They finally had a plan that actually freaking worked.
Yeah.
Like, their spying days have finally come to a peak. I don't know how it's going to continue, but you know what? They did something right for once.
Yeah, because I also like the fact that, so we had a scene where the manager, not the second manager, the manager, not Gia's manager, is texting the phone, and he's, like, texting something to Juno, and then Tae-ho sees it. I'm like, are you kidding me? You're the worst spy ever. And then, we get, like, we see that the manager and Juno rush over to the hospital to see if the manager's okay, and then the manager starts to leave, and I'm like, why is the manager leaving? And then all the lights come on, and you see everyone's following the manager, and I'm just like, no! And then Juno is standing there, and Chow Tae-ho sees him, and Juno, like, raises up, Juno, like, is like, I have the phone, and I'm like, what are you doing?
You don't show your evidence. You don't show it. You just walk away.
Yeah, and then he's like, what does Chow Tae-ho do? He tries to run him over, and I love the fact that Juno's like, he's gonna stop. He's gonna stop. And he doesn't stop, of course, because he murdered 5,000 different people. What are you thinking, Juno?
You know what? They actually did something with common sense, because through this whole thing, I'm like, why doesn't someone just message the voice recording? Like, it's a cell phone. You can send the voice recording off to someone, but someone actually did it. They sent it to freaking Bong Hee.
Thank goodness. And then of course, like, Juno got hit by a car, and I was like, no. And then Chow Tae-ho took the phone and left, and went to where you leave the bargain garage. And I love the fact that the manager was like there, and he like turned around and he's like, hey, I'm here, it's me, I'm the manager. He's like, punches him out, takes his phone, and then they start walking away. And then Juno takes it, and I forgot what happens to the manager. But also, Juno,
like the car comes out of nowhere. The phone ends up getting run over, essentially.
Juno and Taylor are fighting, the phone gets run over, and it's the manager, and Juno's like, are you kidding me? And the manager's like, I just tried to help. And Juno's like, oh my god. And then I love the fact that, like, when they both come out, and then it plays, the audio clip plays on the on the intercom of basically what happened to Jaehyun, like his voice, CEO Jang's voice, and Jaehyun's voice, all on the audio clip plays over. And the fact that Chow Tae-ho is so pissed that he goes to leave, and the manager grabs him and pulls him down, because he's like, and Juno's like, dude, I'm fine, I'm safe. And the manager's like, you don't know what type of person he is. I'm like, exactly, you don't know what type of person he is. But also, everything was just like you say, everything was planned out. Everything was planned out. The manager, the second manager, planning the Chow Tae-ho knowing that they have the phone, and then the driving away, crashing the phone. Everything's planned. And also, I just love the fact that when they were giving out everyone's parts, parts, they're like, you do this, and it gets to Gia, you don't do anything.
You don't do anything. Yeah, I love at the end, like, they're like, good job not doing anything, and she's like, you're welcome for me not doing it. I'm like, yeah. What is going on?
But you know for a fact that if Gia or Bongi were in charge, Chao Tae-ho would be dead. He'd be dead like episode 5. Okay, let's be honest here. But yeah, I really like that they finally got their shitwells together, and that I don't know, it just felt a lot like things were going better for them.
Right. My only issue with this episode is that at the end, in my opinion, everything's resolved.
Yeah.
So we've got 2 more episodes left,
mm-hmm.
and everything's resolved. And I'm like, obviously, like, at the time we're recording this, we know everything that's going to happen at the end. But when this finished, I was like, where are they going to go? What are they going to do? They know who the murderer is.
Mm-hmm.
They was played over the press conference. I mean...
Yeah, it's like, what else do you have to reach for?
Let's all go home.
I feel like, yeah, they have 2 more episodes, so it's like, well, we know what happened, but you guys, if you guys haven't watched it, you don't know what happened. And honestly, when I got to the end of this episode, I was the same as you, where I was like, what's gonna happen? What? Like, I got so very confused, because I was like, I feel like it's like one of the show, like, K-dramas do this sometimes, where they answer all the questions, and the last 2 episodes, or the last episodes, it feels like they're reaching for anything they can do. Like, it's like they can't, it's like you can't
last episode's usually fluffy. Like,
yeah.
Like, the lovey-dovey comes out, there's no real problems, it's kind of just like it's like a fan service almost.
Yeah.
A lot of times it is a fan service. It's just like the couple or whatever, like, everybody's happy, nothing, even if something goes wrong, it's really minor, they figure it out pretty darn quickly. Like, yay, happy ending, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But is there anything else you would like to add on to this discussion video?
No, that's about it.
Yeah, I like the fact that Chao Tae-ho was finally played by someone, because I always feel like he had upper hand. I was like, finally, you guys actually thought about your shit and got it together. But yeah, I love this episode. Definitely one of my favorite episodes, and I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. And we will guys see you next time. Also, we'll see you probably in 2 seconds, because we're just gonna refilm. Anyways, you guys, bye. Bye. Okay, we're awkward. I know. Okay, bye.
Hey guys, what's up? We hope you enjoyed that discussion video, because we enjoyed making it. If you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. If you liked it, you hit that like button. We make videos every Tuesday and Sunday, and we will see you soon.